See, in the last lecture we have started about the drugs used in the treatment of diabetes. Okay, and we have done the little bit introduction part. So first let me share the screen. So this all we have discussed yesterday, that we have to, what you have to study in this chapter. So these are the learning outcomes. So just we will have a quick revision. After completion of this chapter or after this lesson, you should be able to define and classify diabetes, recall various insulin preparations. Okay. Next is describe the pharmacology of insulin. Then recall the classification of anti-diabetic agents. You should be able to explain the basic difference between anti-hyperglycemic and hypoglycemic agents. दोनों अलग है. Although both are used in the treatment of diabetes, the meaning of anti-hyperglycemic agent is different, and the drugs are also different, and hypoglycemic drugs are different. So we will study that. Okay. Okay. Next step, you should be able to describe the pharmacology of drugs used in the treatment of diabetes. So which are the drugs which are used in the treatment of diabetes? That is your hypoglycemic agents and anti-hyperglycemic agent. You should be able to describe the pharmacology. So the questions which are asked in your exam are based on these learning outcomes only. Okay. So yesterday we have started with the diabetes mellitus. So in short, that diabetes mellitus is a metabolic disorder. All of you know it is characterized by hyperglycemia, glycosuria, hyperlipemia, negative nitrogen balance and ketonemia. So this I have explained you कि जब भी किसी को diabetes होता है, it is a metabolic disorder. It means it will affect the metabolism of the various components whatever you are taking in diet. Like hyperglycemia होगा, that is increase in the blood sugar level, and there will be glycosuria. अगर आपका blood sugar level बहुत ज़्यादा elevate हो जाएगा, then it can lead to glycosuria also. That is the presence of glucose in urine. Then after that hyperlipemia, that is increase in the lipid levels in blood. Negative nitrogen balance. Negative nitrogen balance क्यों होगा? Because of the breakdown of protein. What will happen? Because of the breakdown of protein, since the protein contains the basic skeleton which contains nitrogen, so as a result the nitrogen amount will increase in the blood, which will create the negative nitrogen balance. Ketonemia. Ketonemia means the presence of ketone bodies in the blood. So ketone कहाँ से आते हैं हमारी body में? Whenever a person is suffering from diabetes, और suppose करो whenever a person is normal, जब कोई भी पर्सन हेल्दी होता है तो ग्लूकोज का होम्योस्टेसिस प्रॉपरली होता है. बट व्हेन अ पर्सन इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम डायबिटीज, द ग्लूकोज इज प्रेजेंट इन द बॉडी बट द सेल्स आर नॉट एबल टू यूटिलाइज इट. वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजन इज द डिक्रीज इन द सेंसिटिविटी ऑफ इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर्स, विच आई हैव टोल्ड यू कि जब भी इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर की सेंसिटिविटी कम हो जाती है, द सेल्स आर नॉट एबल टू यूटिलाइज द ग्लूकोज. बिकॉज मैंने आपको आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड यू दिस. Okay, all of you know this point. Just we'll have quick revision. This is your cell. This board is your blood. Blood के अंदर ग्लूकोज का लेवल प्रेजेंट होता है. Suppose the level of glucose is rising in your blood. So from the pancreas, what will happen? The insulin will be released, and this insulin will go and bind. Pancreas से क्या secrete होता है? Insulin is secreted. All of you know that. So this insulin will go. It will bind with the insulin receptors which are present on the cell. And जैसे ही इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर को बाइंड होता है, there is a opening here, and through this opening whatever glucose is there which is required by the cell, it will enter inside the cell. Okay, so this is the role of insulin in the utilization of glucose. Okay, so जब किसी को डायबिटीज होता है तो the receptor sensitivity decreases. This receptor is not able to recognize the insulin, और अगर इंसुलिन रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करेगा तो it will not bind with the receptor. रिसेप्टर के साथ बाइंड नहीं होगा, there will be no opening of the space for the glucose to enter inside the cell. So this is the basic thing which happens in type 2 diabetes mellitus. Okay, type 2 diabetes mellitus is also called as the adult onset diabetes mellitus. I have told you. Okay, basically जब आप 25-30 ईयर्स तक होते हो आपको डायबिटीज नहीं होता है, फिर अचानक से ऐसा क्या होता है कि आपको डायबिटीज हो जाता है. सो देयर आर नंबर ऑफ फैक्टर्स विच कंट्रीब्यूट टू द अकरेंस ऑफ डायबिटीज. लाइक उसमें आप पहला बोल सकते हो न्यूट्रिशनल इश्यूज. ओके, लाइक इफ यू आर ईटिंग, और यू कैन से कि आप बहुत ज्यादा न्यूट्रिशन, आपका न्यूट्रिशन इनटेक बहुत ज्यादा है बट योर आउटपुट इज वेरी लेस. ओके, यू आर नॉट यूटिलाइजिंग द एनर्जी in comparison to the food which you are eating, okay, which will lead to obesity. And it has been seen that in obesity the sensitivity of these insulin receptors decreases. Okay, so that obesity is one of the major reasons. Second, आपके बहुत सारे reasons हो सकते हैं, like hereditary factors हो सकते हैं, then pollution वगैरह हो सकता है, smoking, hypertension. Okay, so these are the other reasons which contribute to the occurrence of diabetes. Okay, now apart from that, thickening of capillary basement membrane, the basement membrane of the capillary वो thick हो जाती है. Okay, and what are the other vascular complications which are seen in diabetes? First is the narrowing of lumen. आपका जो lumen होता है, आपका जो आर्टरी का lumen का साइज होता है वो पतला हो जाता है, and which can lead to atherosclerosis, sclerosis of capillaries. It can cause the atherosclerosis, that is the deposition of cholesterol like material in the blood vessels, particularly arteries, and sclerosis of capillaries also takes place. Other complications are retinopathy, neuropathy, and peripheral vascular insufficiency. मैंने आपको इसका रीजन बताया था. ओके, व्हाट इज द बेसिक रीजन बिहाइंड द वेरियस कॉम्प्लिकेशंस ऑफ डायबिटीज. ये कॉम्प्लिकेशंस होते क्यों है डायबिटीज में? So this I would like to repeat it. See, I have told you one term called as glycosylation yesterday. Okay, glycosylation is of two types. One is non-enzymatic and one is the enzymatic glycosylation. So what is non-enzymatic glycosylation or glycation? It is the formation of covalent bond between the sugar and protein or lipid. Okay, जब भी लिपिड शुगर जो होता है वो लिपिड या प्रोटीन के साथ एक कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड बनाता है. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द नॉन एंजाइमेटिक ग्लाइकोसाइलेशन, और सिंपली यू कैन कॉल इट एज ग्लाइकोसाइलेशन. Okay, and this glycosylation, this non-enzymatic glycosylation is responsible for micro and macrovascular complications. Micro and macrovascular complications जो भी डायबिटीज में होते हैं, that is due to this non-enzymatic glycosylation or glycation. Why it happens? Okay, so the reason is mentioned here. The process of glycation increases in diabetes mellitus. So the process of formation of bond increases in diabetes mellitus. Why it increases? Because whenever the person is suffering from diabetes mellitus, the amount of glucose is high in blood. जितना ज्यादा ब्लड में ग्लूकोज होगा उतना ज्यादा वो प्रोटीन और लिपिड के साथ कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाएगा. Are you getting? And basically what happens, the product of the glycation or non-enzymatic glycation is sorbitol, and this sorbitol is responsible for the various pathological changes. Understood all of you? Now मैंने आपको एक ये term बताया था HbA1c. It is taken as an index of protein glycosylation. What do you mean by protein glycosylation? The formation of covalent bond between the protein and the glucose. So what is HbA1c? Hb is your hemoglobin. Okay, all of you know it is made up of protein. Okay, so अगर हमारे ब्लड में ग्लूकोज का लेवल ज्यादा होता है, it forms a complex with the protein, and it will, which protein which is present in your blood, okay, in your RBC, that is hemoglobin, and as a result the level of HbA1c will be high in people who are suffering from diabetes. मैंने आपको बताया था कि HbA1c indicates the state of glycemia, or you can say the control of blood sugar level over a period of 2 to 3 months. Understood all of you? मैंने आपको एक point बताया था, the normal fasting blood sugar level is considered as up to 110. Okay, 100 तक it is considered as normal. Okay, तो मैंने I have told you that suppose today you are eating a lot of food, you are not doing any exercise, आप morning में उठोगे, आपका fasting blood sugar ज़्यादा होगा. Understood all of you? And next day आप खाना कम खाओगे, you will do a lot of exercise, आप fasting blood sugar का टेस्ट करोगे, तो आपका जो लेवल है वो क्या आएगा, वो कम आएगा. So it depends on your day to day activities, your day to day nutrition which you are taking, your exercise, whatever you are doing. It depends on all these factors, your fasting blood sugar level, it depends on all these factors. But अगर आपको सही मायने में ये पता लगाना है कि whether the person is diabetic or not, or second condition, if the person is diabetic but what is his actual control, so for that the test which is taken is HbA1c. So HbA1c, it indicates the state of glycemia, that what is the status of the blood glucose level of the patient over a period of 2 to 3 months. Okay, so अगर आपको ये श्योर करना है कि पेशेंट इज डायबिटिक, ओके, कभी सपोज करो देयर इज अ पर्सन, उसका एक दिन एफबीएस कम आ रहा है, एक दिन ज्यादा आ रहा है, सो हाउ विल यू कैन नॉट से ना दैट द पर्सन इज डायबिटिक. तो अगर आपको ये देखना है कि whether the person is diabetic or not, you do the HbA1c test. If the HbA1c is more, it indicates that the person is diabetic, because just now I told you HbA1c बनता कैसे है. Okay, what is HbA1c? It is the product of, or you can say it is taken as index of protein glycosylation. What if the glucose level will be high, it will form a covalent bond with protein, and as a result the HbA1c level will be high. Understood all of you? So ये हो गया था हमारा. Then this all of you know, you are in final year, आप starting से पढ़ते आ रहे हो, आपने पैथो में भी पढ़ा होगा. Okay, that what is diabetes mellitus? अभी हमने डेफिनेशन पढ़ी. इट इज बेसिकली ऑफ टू टाइप्स, टाइप 1 एंड टाइप 2. टाइप 1 बेसिकली इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ जुवेनाइल ऑनसेट डायबिटीज मेलाइटस और इंसुलिन डिपेंडेंट डायबिटीज मेलाइटस, whereas type 2 is called as non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus or adult onset diabetes mellitus. Okay, type 1 diabetes mellitus juvenile onset है. It occurs in early childhood. What is the reason? It is basically of two types, type 1A and type 1B. It is mentioned here. Type 1A insulin dependent diabetes mellitus occurs due to autoimmune destruction of beta cell. Okay, all of you know what is autoimmune disease, in which our own immune system destroys our own body cells. So if the beta cells are destroyed by our own immune system, then all of you know what is the role of beta cell. They are responsible for producing insulin. तो अगर बीटा सेल डिस्ट्रॉय होगा तो इंसुलिन प्रोड्यूस नहीं होगा प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी में, एंड अगर इंसुलिन प्रोड्यूस नहीं होगा प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी में, सो व्हाट विल हैपन, इट विल लीड टू डायबिटिक in that person. Okay, so that is due to autoimmune destruction of beta cell. Type 1B diabetes mellitus is idiopathic. The reason is unknown. Okay, in type 1 diabetes mellitus, if you will check the blood insulin level, then the level of insulin will be less in blood or it will be absent, because insulin production is hampered in case of type 1 diabetes. All of you know that. तो इसी वजह से या तो इंसुलिन का लेवल कम होगा या तो इंसुलिन एब्सेंट होगा ब्लड में if the person is suffering from type 1 diabetes mellitus. There is low degree of genetic predisposition. Okay, what is type 2 diabetes mellitus? It occurs due to excess of there are three reasons. Okay, या तो हाइपरग्लाइसेमिक हार्मोन्स का लेवल ज्यादा होगा आपके ब्लड में, या तो और द सेकेंड रीजन कैन बी रिड्यूस सेंसिटिविटी ऑफ पेरिफेरल टिश्यूज टू इंसुलिन. जस्ट नाउ आई टोल्ड यू कि डायबिटीज होता कैसे है, हाउ द लेवल ऑफ ग्लूकोज राइजेस इन ब्लड. ओके, द सेम थिंग, द रिसेप्टर सेंसिटिविटी डिक्रीजेस and that is why insulin is not able to bind to that receptor, and as a result the glucose is not able to enter inside the cell. So where the glucose will remain? It will remain in the blood itself and it will cause the diabetes. Understood all of you? Next is abnormality. This point is abnormality in glucoreceptor of beta cell, so that they respond to higher glucose level or deficiency of beta cell. So see this point, what happens here? Your receptors are present. Are you getting? Insulin is getting secreted. ग्लूकोज का लेवल भी ज्यादा है, बट यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है? व्हाट हैपेंस इन दिस केस इज द ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट ऑन बीटा सेल, दे बिकम इनसेंसिटिव. आर यू गेटिंग? देखो इस केस में क्या हो रहा है, इफ यू विल सी दिस केस, दैट इज द रिड्यूस सेंसिटिविटी ऑफ पेरिफेरल टिश्यू. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, जो आपके बॉडी के सेल्स है जो पेरिफेरी में प्रेजेंट है, वहां पे जो इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर प्रेजेंट है उसकी सेंसिटिविटी कम हुई है. Are you getting? The sensitivity of insulin receptor is decreased in this case, whereas in this case the sensitivity of the glucoreceptors which are present on beta cell is decreased. बीटा सेल पे जो ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर प्रेजेंट होते हैं उनकी सेंसिटिविटी कम होती है. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट मींस व्हाट, सी ऑल ऑफ यू नो, ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन इट. दिस इज योर नॉर्मल सेल, दिस इज योर पैंक्रियाटिक सेल. पैंक्रियाटिक सेल पे क्या प्रेजेंट होता है? रिसेप्टर्स आर प्रेजेंट विच आर कॉल्ड एज द ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर्स. अंडरस्टूड? सेल्स के ऊपर जो रिसेप्टर प्रेजेंट होता है उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर. तो दोनों केसेस हो सकते हैं, या तो इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर की सेंसिटिविटी कम हो जाएगी, इट मींस इट विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिकॉग्नाइज इंसुलिन, और यू कैन से द इंसुलिन विल नॉट बाइंड विद दिस रिसेप्टर. तो या तो ये केस होगा, या तो यहाँ पे जो ग्लूको रिसेप्टर प्रेजेंट है दे विल बिकम इनसेंसिटिव. एक्सक्यूज मी. इट मींस व्हाट? ग्लूकोज इज कमिंग. ओके, इंसुलिन सिक्रीट कब होता है? इंसुलिन तभी सिक्रीट होता है व्हेन द ग्लूकोज कम्स एंड बाइंड विद द ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर. वी विल स्टडी. ओके, जब ये ग्लूकोज ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर के साथ बाइंड होता है विच इज प्रेजेंट ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ बीटा सेल, देन फ्रॉम हियर insulin is secreted. Understood all of you? And this insulin bind with the insulin receptor present on the normal other cells, and then the glucose will enter inside the cell. Understood all of you? So this is how the cycle takes place. Insulin अपने आप secrete नहीं होगा. Insulin पे receptors present होते हैं which are called as glucoreceptor, and they are sensitive to the amount of glucose which is present in the blood. Okay? तो जैसे ही ग्लूकोज का लेवल राइज होता है ये रिसेप्टर्स एक्टिवेट होते हैं, दे सिक्रीट द इंसुलिन. बट इन दिस केस व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट ग्लूकोरिसेप्टर्स आर नॉट एबल टू रिकॉग्नाइज द ग्लूकोज प्रॉपर्ली. रिकॉग्नाइज द ग्लूकोज प्रॉपर्ली मींस, मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया था, जैसे ही ग्लूकोज का लेवल हाई होता है, ओके, इंसुलिन इज सिक्रीटेड. बिकॉज ग्लूकोज का लेवल जैसे ही हाई होगा, दिस रिसेप्टर विल सेंस इट एंड इट विल कॉज द रिलीज ऑफ इंसुलिन. बट हियर नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, इसकी सेंसिटिविटी कम हो गई है. यानी अगर ग्लूकोज लेवल आपका 110 है तो ये इसको इट विल नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज. अगर आपका ग्लूकोज लेवल 150 हो जाता है, इट इज पॉसिबल 150, 160, 170, तब ये उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करेगा. आर यू गेटिंग? तो इसकी सेंसिटिविटी कम हो गई है. ऐसा नहीं है कि नॉन फंक्शनल हो गया, इसकी सेंसिटिविटी कम हो गई है. That is why it is not able to secrete the insulin at the normal blood glucose level or at little bit higher level of blood glucose. Are you getting? Have you understood this point? So it is mentioned here. Reduce sensitivity. Okay, this I have explained you already. That whenever the sensitivity of peripheral tissue to insulin will decrease, there will be reduction in number of insulin receptors and there will be down regulation of insulin receptor. ऐसा देखो, इंसुलिन रिसेप्टर की सेंसिटिविटी कम होने का मतलब क्या है कि दैट विल नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज द इंसुलिन. सेकेंड, सिंस इट इज बिकमिंग इनसेंसिटिव, slowly the number of insulin receptors will go on decreasing with increase in the complications or with increase in the severity of diabetes. Are you getting? This is called as down regulation of insulin receptor. So what is down regulation of insulin receptor? Reduction in the number of insulin receptor is called as down regulation of insulin receptor. Understood all of you? Now we come to the insulin. Insulin was discovered, all of you know that it was discovered by Banting and Bess, for which they got the Nobel Prize in, okay, and it was discovered in 1921. The crystalline form, the pure crystalline form was obtained in 1926. And the chemical structure was properly explained by Sanger in 1956. Okay, so this is the little bit history of insulin. Now all of you know that insulin is a polypeptide which is made up of two chains. Okay, A chain and B chain. A chain के अंदर 21 अमाइनो एसिड होते हैं, B chain के अंदर 30 अमाइनो एसिड होते हैं, and these two chains are held together by disulfide bond. Okay. The molecular weight of insulin is 6000, and basically if you will see, the insulin is obtained from human, pork and beef pancreas. Human pancreatic cells, pork pancreatic cells and beef pancreatic cells से हमें इंसुलिन मिलता है which is used for the commercial use. इन सब में से So what I was telling is human insulin, pork insulin and beef insulin. इन तीनों में से जो pork insulin होता है, it is possessing maximum resemblance with the human insulin. Understood all of you? Pork insulin सबसे ज़्यादा human insulin से match करता है. See, these are the differences which are seen in these three. Like A chain, B chain, all of you know. So human insulin, if you will see, what are the changes seen? 8th position polypeptide chain में 8th amino acid, 10th amino acid and 30th amino acid के level पे the changes are seen. Okay, the change in the amino acid, or you can say the sequence of amino acid is different at 8th, 10th and 30th position of the polypeptide chain. So what is the difference which is seen is, if you will see the human insulin 8th position पे it contains threonine, pork में भी threonine होता है and beef में alanine होता है. Okay, see this resemblance. Human में leucine, iLeucine, beef में valine. So you can see human and pork का ये दोनों same है almost. If you will see the 30th amino acid, it contains threonine and pork contain alanine. So this ये थोड़ा अलग है, बाकी ये दोनों same है. That is why it is said that the insulin which is obtained from the pork pancreas is, or you can say closely resembles the human insulin. Understood all of you? ये सब क्वेश्चन जो है ना आपको MCQs में पूछे जाते हैं. Okay, what is the difference in the human pork and at what amino acid? What are the amino acid which are different in all these? Okay, so that can be asked in exam. Now see, all of you know that insulin is synthesized in the beta cell of islet of Langerhans. Now अगर आप pancreas देखोगे तो वहाँ पे सिर्फ हमारे beta cells नहीं होते हैं. Pancreas also contain alpha cells which secrete the glucagon. It also contains the D cells which secrete the somatostatin. Okay, somatostatin हम already पढ़ चुके हैं. Now, insulin is synthesized in the beta cell. It is synthesized in the form of pre-proinsulin. Okay, insulin directly synthesized नहीं होता है. First, pre-proinsulin is synthesized. It contains 110 amino acids. Understood all of you? सबसे पहले how the insulin is synthesized, it is given. In pre-proinsulin, there are 110 amino acids. Okay, first of all there will be removal of 24 amino acid and this is called as proinsulin. So pre-proinsulin में 110 amino acid होते हैं, 24 amino acid इसमें से निकल जाते हैं and forms the proinsulin. Then the connecting peptide chain जो होती है वो उसके बाद अलग होती है and it is made up of 35 amino acids. Okay, and it is split off by the process of proteolysis. So this is how the insulin is synthesized in our body in the beta cells of islet of Langerhans. C peptide जो होता है which is synthesized here, the connecting peptide. C is the connecting peptide and insulin both are secreted with each other and both are stored in the granules. दोनों का दोनों synthesize होते हैं, they are stored in granules and whenever it is required they are secreted. Understood all of you? Okay, 1 unit of insulin is secreted per hour from pancreas. It is not I, it is 1. Every hour from pancreas 1 unit of insulin is secreted and the amount is increased after every meal. Okay, after every meal the amount of insulin secretion will increase. Just wait a minute, let me take the attendance. Okay, so now we come to the regulation of insulin secretion. So it will be disconnected in some time, and if our topic is left, we will rejoin. Okay, so regulation of secretion. So insulin secretion is basically dependent upon, or the release of insulin depend upon three things. Okay, just a second. Okay, we will discuss one by one. First is the chemical regulation. Chemical regulation we will discuss first. See, this I just explained you that beta cell contain glucose sensing mechanism. Okay, मैंने अभी आपको बताया था कि बीटा सेल्स के ऊपर ग्लूकोज रिसेप्टर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. Okay, that is called as a glucose sensing mechanism. It is present on the, suppose this is your beta cell. बीटा सेल्स के ऊपर आपका रिसेप्टर प्रेजेंट होता है which is called as a glucose, which is responsible for sensing the level of glucose in blood. Okay, now on which thing it depends? It depends upon the entry of glucose into the cell and its phosphorylation by glucokinase. So glucose sensing mechanism का जो activation होता है वो किस पे depend करता है? It depends upon the level of glucose in your blood. How much glucose is coming to enter inside the cell. Okay, now for the transfer of glucose is present inside. This is your glucose receptor. But for the transport of glucose inside the beta cell, a transporter is required, and that transporter is called as GLUT2. That is glucose transporter. Okay, understood? Next, activation of glucoreceptor. So first there will be rise in the level of glucose, and whenever the glucose level will rise, it will the glucose sensing mechanism will be activated, and with the help of this transporter, what will happen? The glucose can enter inside the cell. Now see what will happen next. Activation of glucoreceptor, inhibition of ATP sensitive potassium channel, depolarization of beta cells of islet of Langerhans, increase in intracellular availability of calcium and release of insulin. Now see, ये जो पूरा mechanism explain किया है, this has explained how the glucose is coming and binding to the receptor, entering inside the receptor, and due to that process how the insulin is coming out of the cell. So यहाँ पे आपको ध्यान से ये समझने की चीज है, ये आपका I'll explain you again. This is your cell. इस पे आपका glucose receptor present है. Okay, this is the glucose sensing mechanism. So receptor is present. यहाँ पे आपको एक transporter present है जिसका नाम है GLUT. Okay, GLUT2. It is a glucose transporter. Now जैसे ही glucose आएगा, it will bind with this glucoreceptor. Are you getting? It will be sensed, it will bind, and due to the help of this transporter which is present on this surface, with the help of this transporter, the glucose will enter inside the cell. So you have understood this. Now what will happen? What this glucose will do? How the insulin will be secreted from this cell? That is our main point of concern. So now what will happen? जैसे ही glucoreceptor आपका activate होगा, the glucose will enter inside the cell, and apart from that there will be inhibition of the potassium channel. Okay, the potassium channel will be inhibited. Next, there will be depolarization of beta cell. Okay, so first क्या होगा? जैसे ही glucose enter होगा, there will be inhibition of ATP sensitive potassium channel. Next क्या होगा? There will be partial depolarization of beta cell. Now what is the meaning of depolarization? आपने already पढ़ा होगा cardiovascular system में. Depolarization is what? Can anybody tell me what is depolarization? Write in the chat box. Yes? Okay. आप लोग जाके देख लो what is depolarization, what is repolarization. Depolarization is essential, okay, and repolarization is actually the relaxation, coming back to relaxation. Are you getting? So first of all there will be depolarization. I'll ask you in the next lecture what is depolarization. Now due to depolarization there will be increase in the availability of calcium inside the cell. Okay, now how the level of calcium will increase inside the cell? Due to depolarization, what will happen? The calcium channel will be affected, and not only the calcium channel. जैसे ही depolarization होता है, the membrane permeability changes. All of you know. जैसे ही depolarization होगा the permeability of the entering the sodium ion and causes contraction. Okay, correct. So जैसे ही depolarization होता है the permeability changes. As a result what will happen, हमने already ये सब पढ़ा हुआ है in the mechanism of action of digitalis. How digitalis is increasing the level of calcium inside the cell, how it is increasing the contraction, force of contraction. So calcium is responsible for contraction and release of the chemicals, all of you know that. So depolarization होगा, due to depolarization what will happen, the permeability will change. So either the calcium will enter inside, are you getting, or decrease the flux, the influx of calcium will increase, the efflux of calcium will decrease. Efflux means calcium बाहर जाना बंद हो जाएगा, it will start entering inside the cell, and the calcium which is entering inside the cell, it, all of you know sarcoplasmic reticulum and everything. So this calcium will cause the release of the stored calcium which is present inside the cell. As a result, there will be increase in the overall level of calcium inside the cell, and this calcium will be responsible for contraction and release of the insulin from the cell. Understood all of you? So see the cycle. पहले ग्लूकोज का लेवल इंक्रीज होता है whenever you eat a food, whenever you eat a meal, okay, and the food is digested, what happens, whatever food, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि सिर्फ ग्लूकोज ही आके बाइंड होगा तभी आपका इंसुलिन रिलीज होगा, ऐसा नहीं है. बट बेसिकली ग्लूकोज इज द मेजर रेगुलेटर ऑफ द रिलीज ऑफ इंसुलिन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट जो आप प्रोटीन खाते हो, जो आप फैट्स लेते हो, दे आर ऑल्सो responsible for activation of this process. Are you getting? But the glucose is the main regulator. Understood all of you? So whenever the glucose will come inside the cell, it will cause the release of insulin. How it is causing the release, I think you have understood. Understood all of you? So जैसे in short, see it is going to disconnect. So आगे की slide हम बाद में करेंगे. Glucose will come, bind with the receptor. Which receptor? Glucoreceptor. Activation through which transporter? GLUT2 transporter, that is the glucose transporter. Activation of glucoreceptor, as a result two processes will occur. First is what? Inhibition of ATP sensitive potassium channel and depolarization of beta cell. Due to depolarization the level of calcium will rise inside the cell. How the level of calcium will rise inside the cell? By increase in the influx of calcium inside the cell, by inhibition of efflux of calcium from the cell, and by increase in the calcium from the stored sources of calcium which are present inside the cell. As a result, there will be overall increase in the level of calcium which will be causing contraction, and later on it will be responsible for the release of insulin. Understood? So this is called as the chemical regulation. Insulin release is evoked by, yes, this I was telling कि insulin release is also, okay, okay. So we have read the chemical regulation of secretion of insulin. Now we'll go to the next. Yes, this slide was there. Not this one. Okay. Okay, now we will continue. जो मैं आपको पॉइंट बता रही थी ना कि सिर्फ ग्लूकोज, ओनली ग्लूकोज इज नॉट evoking the release of insulin. Amino acid and whatever the fatty acid which are produced from the fat and proteins, they are also evoking the release of insulin from the beta cells of pancreas. But the glucose is the principal regulator of the secretion of insulin. Understood all of you? So glucose is the principal regulator. See, glucose दो टाइप से, in two steps it causes the release of insulin. First what it does, brief phase. First phase is called as brief phase of insulin output. Okay, it is for small period of time it causes the release of insulin. After that the second phase, in second phase there is delayed and sustained release of insulin. Okay, so पहले थोड़ा इंसुलिन, पहले क्या होता है, थोड़ी टाइम के लिए इंसुलिन रिलीज होता है, and in the second phase there is delayed and sustained release of insulin for prolonged period of time. Okay, now we go to the next. Okay, yes, this was remaining. See, oral insulin is more effective in releasing insulin as compared to insulin than IV route. Okay, no, oral insulin, no, sorry. Okay, I think there is a mistake here. It is not oral insulin. Insulin you cannot give it by oral route because it is destroyed. Okay, so it is oral glucose here. Okay, so oral glucose, जो आप orally glucose लेते हो, okay, that is more effective in releasing insulin from your beta cell as compared to the insulin if you are taking by IV route. Are you getting all of you? जो orally आप glucose लोगे ना, that is more effective in releasing insulin. Now see how the insulin is released. आपको इसमें और भी पता चलेगी चीजें. Just a second. Yes, you are, whatever is there it is correct. What I am telling is, orally जो आप glucose लेते हो ना, it is more effective in releasing insulin. Understood all of you? See the reason. Whatever food is present in our gut, it causes the generation of a chemical. See, अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा था? I'll clear that point once again. ठीक है, see what अभी तक हमने पढ़ा कि ग्लूकोज आता है, it will bind with the receptor. As a result, what happens? There is depolarization and everything. It enters through the glucose enters through the glucose transporter. This we have read. Now, before that, what happens? Okay, see that food in the gut, whatever you are eating, that food causes the generation of a chemical signal. Okay, it causes the generation of chemical signal, and that chemical signal is called as incretin. Okay, so this you have to remember. Food in the gut, whenever you eat, that food causes the generation of chemical signal in the form of incretin. This incretin acts on the beta cell present on beta cell of pancreatic cell. Okay, ये जो incretin होता है, it goes and acts on the beta cell and causes the release of insulin. Understood all of you? So this is the, okay, incretin is responsible for sending the signal. Understood all of you? And glucose also binds with the glucose sensing receptors which are present. So this you have to remember. Now there are different types of incretins which are present in our body, like GLP-1, GIP, VIP, pancreozymin and cholecystokinin. ये सब, they all are types of signal which are responsible for the release of insulin. Okay, बट इनमें क्या डिफरेंस है? डिफरेंस, ये सब चीजें अलग अलग फूड के रिस्पॉन्स में रिलीज होती है. आर यू गेटिंग? यू आर ईटिंग, सपोज यू आर ईटिंग कार्बोहाइड्रेट, तो इसमें से क्या रिलीज होगा? बेसिकली योर ग्लूकागन लाइक पेप्टाइड, GLP, ग्लूकोज डिपेंडेंट, दिस विल बी रिलीज, दिस विल फंक्शन एज एन incretin. Are you getting? If you are eating suppose protein, so you can see vasoactive intestinal peptide. So these are the different types of incretins which are secreted in response to the type of food which you are eating. Understood all of you? Hormonal, second regulation is hormonal regulation. Hormonal में हमने already स्टीरॉइड्स पढ़ लिया है, ग्रोथ हार्मोन पढ़ लिया है एंड थायराइड हार्मोन पढ़ लिया है. और इन सब में हमने पढ़ा था कि कौन सा हार्मोन ग्लूकोज लेवल को इंक्रीज करता है एंड कौन सा हार्मोन जो है वो ग्लूकोज लेवल को डिक्रीज करता है. अंडरस्टूड ऑल ऑफ यू? सो इन केस ऑफ हार्मोनल मैंने इतना ही लिखा है. इफ यू आर राइटिंग यू हैव टू राइट इन डिटेल कि व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ थायराइड हार्मोन ऑन द लेवल ऑफ ग्लूकोज. ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू स्टीरॉइड्स का क्या रोल होता है, ग्रोथ हार्मोन का क्या रोल होता है. Whereas prostaglandin E inhibits the release of insulin. See, I'll ask you this in next lecture that what is the role of growth hormones, steroids and thyroxine on the level of glucose in our blood. So all of you go through the last lectures and tell me. Pancreas. Okay, if you will see the composition of pancreas, it contains alpha cell, beta cell and D cell, which I have told you. सबसे ज़्यादा quantity क्या होती है? Islet of Langerhans pancreas. What it contains? Beta cells. 25% of alpha cells are present and D cells 5 to 10%. The D cells of the pancreas, they secrete the somatostatin. What is somatostatin? Write in the chat box. Okay. Now see, pancreatic modulation of insulin secretion. Okay, so this is taken from K.D. Tripathi. Okay, actually the reference of this lecture is from K.D. Tripathi itself. See this. Beta cells are present, alpha cells are present and D cells are present. Beta cells secrete insulin, alpha cells secrete glucagon and D cells secrete the somatostatin. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. But yes, आपको मुझे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में ये बताना है कि what is the role of thyroid hormone, steroids and what was the other growth hormone on the level of blood sugar, on the level of blood sugar and also on insulin. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yes, somatostatin is an inhibitor of growth hormone. Major quantity is produced, all of you know, in the brain and in the nervous system, and thoda bahut part it is produced by the D cells. Okay, we have read that. Okay, now see, these three together they regulate the level of blood glucose, or you can say they increase or decrease the level of insulin secretion. ये तीनों मिलके काम करते हैं. कैसे काम करते हैं? See this. Red arrow indicates increase in secretion. Remember that. Red arrow क्या indicate करता है? Increase in secretion, and green arrow will indicate the decrease in secretion. So as you can see here, alpha cells secrete glucagon. So glucagon का level अगर high होगा तो क्या होगा? Beta cell क्या secrete करेगा? Insulin. Okay, so it is glucagon level will have stimulatory effect on the secretion of insulin. Understood? Second thing, alpha cells will also have a stimulatory effect on somatostatin. अगर glucagon का level, it means what? अगर glucagon का level ज़्यादा होगा तो insulin का secretion and somatostatin दोनों का secretion increase होगा. Understood? Now see the inhibition. If the level of somatostatin secretion or somatostatin secretion high है तो it will inhibit the insulin release or it will decrease the insulin release. Okay. Next you can see this. बीटा सेल्स है. ओके, अगर इंसुलिन का लेवल ज्यादा होगा तो ऑब्वियसली ग्लूकागन लेवल कम होगा, बिकॉज इंसुलिन क्या करता है? ग्लूकोज लेवल को कम करता है एंड ग्लूकागन क्या करता है? ग्लूकोज लेवल को ज्यादा करता है. अंडरस्टूड ऑल ऑफ यू कि अगर सोमैटोस्टेटिन का सिक्रीशन ज्यादा है देन इट विल इनहिबिट द रिलीज ऑफ इंसुलिन, एंड इफ द लेवल ऑफ इंसुलिन इज मोर इट विल इनहिबिट द रिलीज ऑफ ग्लूकागन. नेक्स्ट सी दिस लास्ट वन. सोमैटोस्टेटिन का लेवल अगर ज्यादा होता है तो ये दोनों को इनहिबिट करता है, ग्लूकागन को भी और इंसुलिन को भी. अंडरस्टूड दिस? दिस इज हाउ दीज थ्री थिंग्स, दीज थ्री सिक्रीशंस दे इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ अदर सिक्रीशन. ये तीनों के तीनों प्रेजेंट होते हैं पैंक्रियाज में, बट these three of them they inhibit and increase the secretion of others. Understood all of you? So I think you have understood this. कोई डाउट है इसमें? रेड एरो इंडिकेट्स इनिबिशन. सो ग्लूकागन अगर सिक्रीट होता है तो वो इंसुलिन पे इनिबिटरी इफेक्ट डालता है एंड सोमैटोस्टेटिन पे भी. सोमैटोस्टेटिन अगर सिक्रीट होता है इट इज एक्साइटेटरी इफेक्ट. ओके, अल्फा ओके ग्लूकागन लेवल अगर ज्यादा होगा तो वो इंसुलिन का सिक्रीशन और सोमैटोस्टेटिन दोनों का सिक्रीशन इंक्रीज करेगा. ओके, एंड अगर सोमैटोस्टेटिन का लेवल ज्यादा है, दिस ग्रीन इज इनिबिटरी. ओके, इंडिकेटिंग द इनिबिटरी इफेक्ट. सो सोमैटोस्टेटिन का लेवल अगर ज्यादा होगा इट विल डिक्रीज द इंसुलिन रिलीज एंड ग्लूकागन रिलीज. और अगर इंसुलिन का सिक्रीशन ज्यादा होगा इट विल डिक्रीज द ग्लूकागन रिलीज. अंडरस्टूड ऑल ऑफ यू? सो दिस इज हाउ द level of insulin, glucagon and somatostatin are regulated. Okay, or you can say pancreatic modulation. These three are working together and they are modifying the release of insulin. Understood all of you? Third and the last part of the lecture is neural regulation. Neural means what? Related to nervous system. तो बेसिकली हमारा जो ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम होता है, ऑल ऑफ यू नो, इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इंक्रीजिंग द सिक्रीशन और डिक्रीजिंग द सिक्रीशन. अगर आपका ओके वी विल सी हियर देन वी विल डिस्कस. बेसिकली योर सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम, पैरासिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम एंड वेगस नर्व, दे आर regulating the release of insulin. Okay, this is why it is called as the neural control. See this. See the first point. Alpha 2 receptor, beta 2 receptor and muscarinic receptor. These three are present in pancreas. Understood all of you? Now whenever there is activation of alpha 2 receptor, there will be decrease in the release of insulin. Okay. Whenever there is activation of beta 2 receptor, there will be stimulation of release of insulin secretion. Cholinergic, muscarinic activation अगर है तो there will be, see all of you know that cholinergic system को जब आप stimulate करोगे तो all the secretions are increased. Understood all of you? So here whenever cholinergic system means what? Muscarinic and nicotinic receptor. So here the muscarinic receptors, if you are activating it, if acetylcholine is released and it is causing the acetylcholine acts on both muscarinic and nicotinic. So here the muscarinic receptors are involved. तो acetylcholine जब muscarinic receptor के साथ bind होगा, it will increase the release of insulin. How it will increase the release of insulin? By causing the activation of IP3 and DAG. Can you recall IP3 और DAG हमने कहाँ पे पढ़ा था? In all the G protein coupled receptor. हमने पढ़ा था ना कि PIP2, how the calcium is released. PIP2 से क्या बनता है? IP3 and DAG. IP3 and DAG acts on endoplasmic reticulum and cause the release of or cause the opening of calcium channel, and those calcium are responsible for contraction and then the release takes place. Understood all of you? So muscarinic receptors upon activation increases the release of insulin through which pathway? Through the IP3 and DAG pathway. Understood all of you? Now we come to the sympathetic nervous system. If you will activate alpha 2 receptor, there will be decrease in the release of insulin. What is the mechanism of action? By inhibiting the beta cell adenyl cyclase. Okay, by inhibiting this enzyme, the secretion of insulin will be decreased. Next is, if you activate the beta 2 receptor, it will stimulate the release of insulin by stimulating the activity of adenyl cyclase. Now what is adenyl cyclase? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody correlate these two mechanism of action with the release of insulin? All of you have read this. Okay, आपने ये concept पढ़ा हुआ है. Only the thing is there, वहाँ पे insulin नहीं था. Where you have read this? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? Do you remember the what you will say G protein coupled receptor? याद है ना आपको? Okay. What is adenyl cyclase? Do you remember the mechanism of action of CNS stimulant drugs, which you have done in the last semester? ATP is converted into cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is converted into 5-AMP. Okay, so ATP is converted into cyclic AMP by adenyl cyclase enzyme, and cyclic AMP is converted into 5-AMP by the phosphodiesterase enzyme. 5-AMP is okay. So 5-AMP क्या होता है? 5-AMP is inactive compound. Okay, it is the metabolic product. Cyclic AMP. So if you inhibit, just apply your logic. If you inhibit the adenyl cyclase, what will happen? ATP. एक minute. By inhibiting beta cell. Okay. Okay, first we will discuss this point. ATP is converted into cyclic AMP in the presence of adenyl cyclase enzyme. And all of you know cyclic AMP is a secondary messenger. It is responsible for what? It is responsible for contractions and everything. Okay, if you see all of you, after this lecture, again go back and see the mechanism of action of G protein coupled receptor and the mechanism of action of the CNS stimulants, okay, and bronchodilators and all, where you will see that cyclic AMP का release अगर आप see, if you inhibit adenyl cyclase, okay, in simple words, if you ATP is converted into cyclic AMP is converted into 5-AMP. So ATP is converted into cyclic AMP in the presence of which enzyme? Adenyl cyclase. So here what is happening? There is inhibition of adenyl cyclase. So if you inhibit adenyl cyclase, ATP will not be converted into cyclic AMP, and if the cyclic AMP is not produced, there will be no release. Understood all of you? Beta cell उसका opposite काम करता है. It stimulates the adenyl cyclase. So as a result, what will happen? The ATP will be converted into cyclic AMP, and that cyclic AMP will be acting as a second messenger, which will cause the release of insulin. Understood all of you? So this is how you have to correlate the things. And cholinergic का आपको पता ही है कि whenever the acetylcholine binds to muscarinic receptor, always there will be increase in the secretion. Okay, but उसका भी mechanism of action यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है by activating the IP3 and DAG. Okay, activated glucose conformational attached G protein GS alpha. Okay, yes, this is correct. GDP is exchanged with GTP. ओके, बट उसके बाद क्या होता है? आपने देखा था देयर इज एक्टिवेशन ऑफ प्रोटीन काइनेज, फॉर्मेशन ऑफ साइक्लिक एमपी. दैट साइक्लिक एमपी गोज इनसाइड द सेल, कॉजेस ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, ट्रांसलेशन, एंड द अदर स्टेप व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू इज एक्टिवेशन ऑफ फॉस्फोलिपेज सी गामा बीटा, which causes the activation of PIP2 I think into IP3 and DAG, which causes the release of calcium, which is responsible for contraction and which causes the release of the things or the chemicals. Okay, so it is correct. So all of you apply your logic and try to understand the things. Okay, this is the last, I think the last point for today. Just a second, let me check. Yes, so what it is mentioned here, stimulation of, okay, now see neural, if you consider, then basically the secretions are controlled by the hypothalamus. Understood all of you? Hypothalamus mein there are different nuclei which are present. So if you are stimulating the ventrolateral nuclei, there will be release of insulin, and if you stimulate the ventromedial nuclei, it will inhibit the insulin release. So these two nuclei are present in your hypothalamus, which are involved in the release of insulin. So this is about the neural control. So neural में आपको ये चारों point लिखने. Okay, so that is all for today. I hope you have understood it. Now in the next lecture we will be studying the various preparations of insulin, pharmacological action of insulin, and after that we will go for the anti-diabetic agents. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. I am sending you the link for attendance within short time. So I am ending the meeting now.